Hello everybody, and welcome to WASD20. My name is Nate. Today we are going to be doing some live miniature painting. Just kind of hanging out, painting some minis, doing what we do, right guys? Want to welcome everybody who's already here in the chat. I've got my setup here and pretty much ready to go. First I want to hear from you guys. What's everybody doing tonight? How is everybody doing? What are you guys up to? It's hump day. I've got some WizKids minis in the house tonight. These are the ones that I did a review of last week, and I'm going to be painting them up tonight. And these are the Deep Cuts Pathfinder Battles miniatures, and I just found the base for one of them that I was frantically looking everywhere under all these paint pots for earlier. So I'm going to quickly glue one more. For gluing to the base, I use the Amazing Goop. Greg Widmeyer says he's up to homework tonight. That's a bummer, man. Sorry to hear that. The struggle. Get a little bit of glue here, if I can. This stuff is getting really really, it's solidifying a little too much, but it still works. Goop is very strong stuff. All right, so we're getting that guy on his base there. There we go. Cool. Let's see what other people are up to in the chat here. Redium Video Games, what you playing, man? Jack Toll, hey man. Colson Smith says, good, finished school today. Nice. I'm not. Josh May says, I'm making some Black Magic Craft style dungeon tiles as I watch. Dude, that's awesome. I love Black Magic Craft. Great channel. I don't even do crafting, and I watch that guy's channel because he's just got good videos. And when I do crafting, he's going to be my guy. Let's see. So these miniatures, Jack, are about $4 for a 2-pack. So, yeah, you can see my full review on the channel last week I posted, but $3.98 for a 2-pack. And yeah, so the thing that I mentioned in the review is it's kind of odd, but they come with, so this pack came with 2 human female rogues. So, came with these 2. So that's kind of an odd thing that, they're not varying it. You're just getting 2 human female rogues. But they are different enough, so it's kind of cool. I like them. Yep, so let's see. We got some Killing Floor 2, some Skyrim. Nice. I was just thinking about Skyrim today, how I need to go back to that. Anyway, we're going to get going with this here. So I was thinking I'm going to be painting the Goblins tonight. I'm going to adjust my focus so we can actually get a good close-up view here. Let me get into my webcam settings and mess around with this here. So focus, where is it? All right, if I'm going to be painting right about there, we'll say. There we go. And it's going to be kind of hard to see right now because it's white. But once we start getting some paint on, let's see how it looks with a little paint here. Yeah, that'll be good. Skyrim miniatures. Oh, Paul. Yeah, man. Lamb on Fire says the new D&D version seems to have more rules than needed. Okay. Yeah, that's fair enough. It has less than the previous 2 editions, though. So I guess in your mind it would likely be an improvement over those 2. I'll say that. But I actually did a video on D&D being too complicated. Or that complaint about it. Oops, sorry about the camera. I recommend checking that out. But okay, I think I need to adjust not just the focus, but also the contrast a little bit. Things are getting washed out of the exposure. Yes, there we go. That's way better. Just hit the exposure down 1 notch, and it seems a lot better. So, just that. All right, cool. So, let's get going here. One thing I have to just vent about that I'm bummed about. I just found this. you guys can probably see this brush is curved. This is one of my nice Sable Kolinsky brushes, our Kolinsky Sable brushes from Rosemary and Company. And I just found it upside down in my paint container, my brush container, and I don't know how it got that way. Anyway, might be able to fix that later, but it might be ruined. Okay, so we're gonna get into the painting here. Goblins. Well, guys, goblins are green. I'm gonna try to pretty well match what I've done before with them. Let's see what I can find in terms of green. Here it is. This is my main green color that I use. It is a Privateer press paint. And it is Iosan green. So yeah, I'm just going to go straight up this, I think, for my first layer. And then we will lighten it from there. See how that goes. I did not write down or anything, you know, what I did for these guys originally. But for my my bones goblins, and we're gonna start actually by mounting this little guy. I want to do the spiky one. I like this one the best. See these little head spikes? I love them. Mount this guy. Andrew Fisher asked, do you like the Pathfinder or D&D goblins better? I'm not sure, actually. I know it's a cop-out, but I would definitely have said after D&D 5e came out, I was like, oh yeah, these D&D goblins, these are great. But now, I kind of miss the Paizo goblins in some ways. The Pathfinder goblins. The Pathfinder goblins are more goofy and like just crazy. Whereas the D&D goblins in 5th edition are a little more grounded and perhaps realistic. But I think there are benefits to both for sure. But the reality is I tend to use my Pathfinder goblins miniatures because that's all I have, whether I'm playing D&D or Pathfinder. So this is my first test of how these pre-primed miniatures do. Like, how do they take paint? And I'm putting on a very thin layer, but it seems to be going okay. This is the base coat, so I'm not going to be too picky about getting it in other places. I'll probably get some green on his swords and all that. His goblin slicers. Dog slicers, I think they call them in Pathfinder. Anyone remember? Killing dogs. Jeez. Goblins. Why? All right. So it looks like he's got some little things covering most of his hand there. Atsuma asks, do you upload these live streams to YouTube after? Yes, I do. They actually are automatically uploaded for me. I don't even have to do anything. Likewise, if you're joining late, you can always go back to the beginning and watch the part where I didn't do anything. You can kind of rewind up to a couple hours. I'm thinking about going for an hour to an hour and a half, maybe 2 hours tonight. We'll see. I would love to finish one, push myself to finish one miniature. I am slow. I am very slow. But I'm gonna try to be a little faster on this one. And just see if I can finish a miniature. I know some people are looking at this little guy. How could you spend 2 hours on this? Trust me, people. Trust me. Ryan Andrews asks, where did I get these? I got them at my local hobby shop, Ryder's Hobby Shop. It's a great place, about 5-minute drive away. But you can get them online. Just search for WizKids Unpainted Miniatures. You can order them from their website. I definitely recommend checking out your local game shops. Or if you're into paying more money so that you can support WASD 20, I do have an Amazon affiliate link in the video description. I got a bunch of mini painting supplies in there, including these miniatures, but if you are a savvy shopper, I do not recommend buying them on Amazon because they're more expensive at this time. Sip of beer. I got a kind of a orangey IPA from a neighbor today. I'm a huge IPA fan. It's pretty good. I'm not a big fan of fruity beers. It's not super fruity, but it definitely has some orangey hints to it. Overtones. I don't know my beer language. Yeah, so not a huge fan of fruity beers in general. But get this, guys. The bigger point is I have a neighbor who gives me beer sometimes. Ain't nothing wrong with that. All right, so at this point, I'm just kind of messing them up and I'm going too much. Let me get a real close look here and see if I'm missing any skin parts. It's really hard to tell. I think I probably am under his arms. I really need to get one of those like lamps where you can zoom in on stuff. The magnifying lamp. You know what? When in doubt, paint everything green and you can paint different colors later. Beauty of the base coat. Just get all his hands. Now, a lot of times I prime with black and then I dry brush with like a gray. And that really helps me pull out all the details. Now, I didn't do that on this, so there's some detail that I'm not probably seeing at this point. But hopefully, excuse me, hopefully will reveal itself at some point. Yeah, so these are pre-primed with Vallejo primer. There you go. And yeah, so far I'm impressed. Like it's taking the paint. It's doing what I would expect a primed miniature to do. Oh, I missed under his chin. I just rinsed my brush out and I realized I missed under his chin. So let's get that. All right, cool. Thanks everybody for tuning in tonight. I do have my Facebook and Twitter links kind of a little too faint for my taste up in the upper left. And hey, if you don't mind, retweet this out to your followers. I tweeted the stream here. If you're following me on Twitter, go ahead and hit that retweet. Get more people on board here. Painting up some Goblins. But yeah, I really like this sculpt. Super cool looking. How many minis do you think you could successfully complete going your fastest? Lamb on Fire asks. In 2 hours, I have no... Yeah, I generally... I'll just say this. I generally will spend 3 to 6 hours on one miniature. Like something like this. It's probably 5 hours here, I would say. Yeah, I'm slow. I'm very slow. All right. So honestly, I'm thinking I need to darken it up a little bit, just a little bit. So let's see if I can. I didn't have much time to get set up tonight. I was kind of rushed. Had some technical difficulties, so I'm not sure where all my paints are at the moment, but we'll track them down. Get a little black on the wet palette here. I also have a link to this wet palette in the video description. This thing was less than $10. And I treat it like crap and it holds up. And I never rinse it out and I just keep all my gross paint on here and it dries and crusts over and it still works. I have more of these sheets somewhere, I just don't know where. All right, so I'm mixing a tad bit of black in with my green. Just because I do, for the next ones, I want a darker base coat. Okay, just a little darker. So we're going to go ahead and let's see if we can... Sorry, Mr. Mastiff. You lose. All right. Let's try getting this guy. Super thin paint here. A little too thin. But better to be too thin than too thick. And I'm going to get a little more green just because it is so thin. Okay, a little more green, a little more black. And here we go. Pathfinder Pawns Russell Stout. I think they're awesome. I think they're really awesome. And yeah, if you don't enjoy miniature painting or you don't think you're good at it. I mean, ultimately, if you don't enjoy it, I guess that's the thing. If you don't enjoy it, dude, go for it. They're such a good deal. And they're really nice looking. And honestly, I favor a Pathfinder pawn over like, hey guys, just pretend these goblins are kobolds. Which I have done before. And I've played under a lot of DMs who have done that, and it's fine. It's not a huge deal. But the beauty of Pathfinder pawns is you can get like every monster. You can actually go out and pretty much buy every monster that you would ever want for a reasonable price. 3D miniatures, not so much. Guess that's relative. Depends on your view of those of what's a reasonable price. Okay, now what's going on here with this? It's hard to tell. I think that he has just fired an arrow, and he's got his hand raised up in the air. I think that's what's happening. So, okay, getting a little dry on the brush there. Load back up here. Get it nice and thick on this base coat. Oh, I see. He's pulling another arrow out of his quiver. I think that's what's going on. Yeah, pretty sure. Get his other hand here. Yeah. Sorry, I'm not really keeping up in the chat here. Joseph, these were pre-primed with Vallejo primer. These are the new WizKids miniatures. Okay. Yeah, it's kind of hard to tell how much skin is actually showing here. But it doesn't look like much. It looks like they're pretty well covered. These goblins are well armored. All right, I really do need to get more, just load up the paint on the palette here. So I like Privateer Press, but I've gotten spoiled by Vallejo having them in the squirt bottles. That's really nice when you're trying to keep things moving. It is a bit of a pain to have to open this up, dip in there, make sure I have a clean brush before I do so. And yeah. It is just kind of a pain. Let's see. Alec Visser, welcome. We got to hang out, Alec. We got to play some Overwatch or something. Let's see. Big 53 Max says, "Hey Nate, what do you think of the icons of the Realms pre-painted minis by WizKids?" They're fine. I have some of the Pathfinder ones. They're fine for pre-painted miniatures. I don't know how the D&D ones compare. I don't own them, but like there's not much highlighting here. Really, there's nothing. But they're, for a pre-painted miniature, they're okay. They're not a bad price. Those, I think, were my first miniatures, the pre-painted. I feel like the Icons of the Realm D&D ones are a little bit better quality. All right. Need a little more black here too. So, for darkening, just a thought on that. I'm using black, but you could easily use brown. It depends how you want to darken. I think people tend to think too often when painting that, well, if I want it darker, I'm going to add black. If I want it lighter, I'm going to add white. But when I highlighted these guys, I actually added yellow. And you can kind of see that they've got a little bit of a yellowish tone to them. So, yeah. All right, we'll keep going here. Okay, so I got to get his foot yet. And not going to worry too much about where his pants end and where his foot begins right now. I think I'm getting it right, but err on the side of too much green for now. The one thing I'll say about these, and I'm interested in comments for those of you who do have them too, what you think. The mold lines are really like harsh, significant. It's true on the bones too, but they're a little harder to trim. So I have a hobby file here. This is something else I highly recommend, which is really nice for trimming those lines. And yeah, that's something that is, or not trimming them, but grinding them down a little bit. But I did a few on these, and I was just like, whatever. I'm not going to spend too much time on this. I just want to get to painting them. I'm impatient, and I don't go for, I'm not going for show quality here. I'm just going for looking good on the tabletop. All right. I think we got enough skin on this guy. Yeah, he is really intensely, those might be like bandoliers or big bracelets or something like that. So I am going to get in between those. I'm not sure if that's going to be skin or not, but we'll go with it. It's probably not. I'm probably going to do a brown. Yeah, that might be skin right there on the arm. Really hard to tell. Goblins are tiny. Maybe I should have done one of my bigger heroes. All right. Good. Cool. Todd McElwee says think reflection, not shading. Yep, you're reflecting the light. That's a good way to think of it. Maybe I'm misunderstanding you there, but that's how I'm interpreting what you're saying. So I'm going to darken up with just another coat here, since it looks like I took so long on this guy that his head is now dry. Just go ahead and slap on another coat onto his big old bulbous head. Jeez. Look at that thing. It's huge. All right. Jack Toll says, I'm writing a novel, Nate, and doing a little world building. Anything you want named after you? Nope. I do not want... No, I don't know. I'm honored. I don't think Nate sounds great for most fantasy worlds, but maybe you could name something after one of my characters. How would that be? That'd be kind of cool. So, like my character in the Dragon Green campaign right now is Garrick. So like, I don't know. You could name something after him, or Erdon of the Provokers, or I don't know if that has a nice ring to it in terms of naming places or things. Or there's Sander, or Dinara. Is his last name. There's Garrick Braunleaf, Sander Dinara. Those are my two main characters right now that I'm playing. But yeah, I'm honored. And no pressure if those suck. Everybody, this is the WASD 20 Forest. legends told of a sacred item of power, the tome of WASD20. Anyone else painting miniatures tonight? I might have missed that. Mark Gelfo, I did a review on the channel last week. He asks where I got these. So you can check that out. I got them at my local hobby shop. Check yours. They're the WizKids Unpainted Miniatures, and they are indeed pretty nice. Nice looking miniatures. They are new-ish. I think they're about a month, maybe a little more old now. Okay. So my coverage on these, because it's such a light primer, I'm used to doing a dark primer. I realize now I've been doing black primer for a long time, so here's an example of one that I primed. Got this from my good buddy Wild Will, who's in the chat tonight. He just started a new channel. Check him out. Wild Will's Outdoor Adventures. But he gave me a ton of miniatures, and I usually use black primer. You can see I didn't hit everything. There's some underside stuff that's whatever. If I don't hit it all, it's fine. But that's what I generally use, and yeah, it's kind of an adjustment now here, going to having to cover a very light color. I'm not really used to that, but I think it's going to be fine. I think I'm not gonna overthink it. I'm just gonna keep on moving here. All right, so I've got one more here, but I'm just gonna do the 2 tonight. Work on the 2 just to see if maybe I can finish one of them. All right, let's get back to this guy here. I do have my little dryer thing I'm going to use for just a second here, so if you'll excuse the noise, everybody. Woo. This is a heat tool. Just speeds the drying process up a little bit, and we'll go for this guy as well. All right. So, Blaze oh wait, who is it? I also get free hand drying. Yeah, that's good. Who was saying? Oh, Silverblade Nonaka Hawkeye. What a name. Working on a map and doing some world building. All right, man. I did some mapping today. I'm excited to. I shared a few pictures on Twitter. You guys can check out the link up on the screen there. If you want to see what I was working on today. But yeah, it felt good to get back in the saddle for me, is how I would describe it, because I really haven't done a map commission in over 6 months. So it is for me getting back in it. And I worked on one for about 4 hours today, 3 or 4 hours. And yeah, it felt good. I missed it. I also miss painting miniatures. So yeah, it's been a day of doing fine detail work on small things today. I guess the map wasn't as small as this, but it's been a day of staring at things and arting. Artsing. Okay. So 2 options here, guys. I could, at this point, I could move on to the brown of the leather and some of the metal bits as well. Or I could keep going with the skin. So I think I'm going to go ahead and do some of the brown. I'll move on to a different color here. That's the nice thing about a wet palette too, is that I can really kind of keep my paint wet here. The green will stay wet if I want to add to it and highlight it. Whereas before I might say, well, I'm going to stick with the green so I can keep on, using what I've got there. But yeah. Jack Toll, good luck on your exam, brother. Yep. Blaze Rod, you don't have to apologize for being late. I'm glad you're here, man. And thank you for your kind words. All right. Let's see. I have no idea. I just realized I have no idea how many people are watching right now. Let me go to the view on watch page. There's some way to see that in YouTube, but I don't know. I don't know, guys. Good luck on your exam. Hey, I can hear myself. 56 people watching right now on a Wednesday night and on a stream that I just decided to do pretty much this morning or late last night. That's pretty darn good, guys. Thank you. I'm honored. All right. This guy still looks really wet. Why is that? I thought I blew hot air upon you, little gerblin. All right, let's do some brown. All right, this is tricky because there's so many. It's gonna end up being kind of blah because it's just like a lot of. Yeah, I might end up having to do like a blue belt or something because there's just like it's just brown and green. That's it. That's what it is. But anyway, I'll bust out some brown here. We'll do a couple different shades. We'll do that. Okay. Right here, I've got my on sale. What is this anyway? Oh, Maron Beige. Model color. And going to scoop up a little of that. Oh, it's a little too thick. Okay. Now it's very heavy, but that's okay. So we're going to do his pants with this. It's pretty thin. That's okay, though. Always thin your paints, kids. But it's running onto the green a little bit. That's a bummer. So, yeah. It's good to thin your paints, but this might be a little too thin. It's been a while. I'm rusty. All right. Get the back there. Okay, so what other things am I going to do this color? I think I will also do his belt for now. Might go back and make that a darker brown or a different color completely. What I meant to say. And then his main kind of tunic thing, I think I'm going to make I am going to make a darker kind of reddish brown. Tommy Mega Muffin, good evening. Good midnight to you. Okay, and then we're also going to do this kind of sash here. Sash type of thing. So this guy's got, like, he's loaded with arrows. He's got 2 quivers. He's double quived up. Man, double quived. That's got to boost him up to at least a CR4. Friendly fellow. How many coats do these minis usually require? So I usually do like 2 or 3 on the base coat, and then I build up from there and do a few more. So, you know, it all depends. You can get away with a coat. Some people do. Some people don't highlight, you know, but I do. Yeah, this brown made a mess right here. This goblin made a mess of his feet. He's got to change his little goblin diaper. All right, so I'm going to have to go back and do some repair work there, but let's see. Got a little more. Can do right here. This goes around. Yeah, I picked a tough one for the stream tonight, guys. I did. This is a lot of little finicky details. Oh, and yep, I wasn't supposed to paint that. Okay. That's all right. Cover it up later. All right, so got a first coat on that. Now let's go over to this guy and do some of the same here. iRolls1 is just really wanting to know on the looks-wise, do I like the Pathfinder goblins or the Paizo goblins? Or the D&D goblins. I think I'm probably more of a fan of the D&D goblins. Ultimately, I am generally a fan of more grounded and realistic. So, yep. But as I said before, I have a real appreciation. There's a place for the Pathfinder goblin. The crazy melon-headed freak who loves to... Oh man, this is hard to paint. Okay, so this is going to be real tough. So as you guys can see, like the way his swords are here, it's really going to make that tough. And now what I'm going to end up doing is basically covering over this when I do the dark brown. So I probably should do the dark brown first. There's this inside out rule that I'm kind of a fan of. And I'm going to do that now. So I'm not going to be able to do too much highlighting on a lot of this, just because it's so tiny. But I'm going to focus my highlights definitely on the skin, especially the big head. And sometimes you got to do that. Sometimes you got to pick what things you're going to highlight. That's the wrong brown. Where's my dark skin tone brown? Oh, I just got this new one, brown sand. That's just a little bit lighter than Maran beige. But I need that dark brown though. I'm not finding it, guys. I know it's a game color. This is very troubling. Huh, let me look up in my cupboard. There's one bottle. Literally one bottle of paint sitting in my cupboard that I grabbed my paint out of today. Why? I don't know. There it is. Carne Oscura. Dark flesh. Okay. So, where did I have this color before? We'll stick with that same area of my palette. Keep things simple. This gross palette that needs to be cleaned. But hey, it works. When I mix this paint, you can't see my palette right now, but it's almost got a bit of dark blue in it. Kind of cool. Okay, so this is going to be the main like base brown color for the leather. So what I probably should have done is just painted everything with this, and then, yeah, and then gone back. But, oh well, it's going to be all right. I think I might do this guy's, I think I might do his, like, little arm pads. I think I might actually make them metal, just to vary it, just to switch it up. Goblin probably wouldn't normally have that much metal armor. But again, just to help the look a little bit, sometimes I justify it. Ultimately, rule of cool wins the day. Would metal armor look cool? Yes, it would. So yeah, as you can see here, this is definitely going to take 2 coats. And I'm going to be getting paint all over this guy's swords, I think. And that's okay. I'll fix it later. Do I mix different brands of paint? Yeah, sometimes I do. Bones 3 paint? Yeah, I will. I got this guy out. I've been looking at him a lot lately. He's so cool. I'm not going to paint him tonight. Sorry, guys. But isn't that awesome? It's Man-Bat. It is a werebat thing. Oh, I got some brown paint on my beer glass. Let's see how it tastes. Delicious. Maron beige, confirmed. Or, what is it? No, dark flesh tone, rather. Yeah, someone mentioned this in my comments on my review, and I didn't really believe them. But all the detail actually makes these really hard to paint. So they're a lot more detailed, and that's cool if you're a really good painter. But it presents a challenge for sure. All right, so he's kind of got some diapers sticking out from under his tunic here, so we're gonna make his diapers a different color. That right there is hard to paint. Gotta get his other shoulder pauldron thing. But yeah, like these little guys just, I guess they had a fair amount of detail too. Maybe I'm just worse at painting than I used to be. Could you paint the swords a bronze color? I would want to see that, what that color metal would look like with leather armor. Yeah, maybe. What I usually do, I probably will do the same thing I did on these, which is paint it with a like a metallic silver color, but add a brown wash to it. Afterwards, make it look dirty. But maybe, I don't know. We can try it. The as slow as I'm going tonight, I don't know how I'm gonna if I'm gonna get very far here. Slow, guys. I'm slow. But you know what? We could try it. We should try a bronze on his armor, on his arms there. I think that could look cool. So let's do that. What do I have here? Let's try it right now. Okay, so here's a gold, and if we add some brown to it, it should be properly bronze. Try this out. Ooh, that is a bright gold, though. Okay, so let's dropped it. Let's see how that looks. Right here, right now. Let's see how it looks. Okay, so first coat, I'm going to need to go more brown. Yeah, man, I'm not used to this over light paint thing, and seeing how it does not cover that well. Over light primer. I'm not really watering it down hardly at all. But we're getting some coverage. Just going to take several coats. All right, let's go back to this guy and get some dark brown on the armor. Cooper Hammond says having armor bronze would definitely be cool. Goblins probably have pretty varied armor and weapons. Yeah, that's a good point. All right, so now let's get this darker brown. I got a stray hair on my brush. Let me roll that thing. There we go. Definitely feeling rusty when it comes to painting. Shout out to Dr. Faust, who is my inspiration for even trying painting videos. He is so good. Check out Dr. Faust Paint Clinic. Definitely my favorite miniature painting channel by far. There are some other decent ones out there, but Dr. Faust is the man with the master plan. Let's go ahead and get his bow too. Or her. Who says it's to him? Question for you in the chat. I like the shout out that Nerdarchy does on their live chats. I've been watching those since I'm a teacher and I've got summer off and definitely keeping busy, but sometimes I have time during midday to like listen to something while I'm doing dishes or laundry or parenting or doing some home improvement projects. So I've been watching theirs, and they always do the shout out thing where they ask people where they're from. So in the chat, where are you from? Where are you watching from? All right. Here we go. Getting that bow covered. Bloomington, Indiana, Ohio, Iowa, Richmond, Virginia, Florida, Georgia, Calgary, Alberta, Michigan, Missouri, Toronto, Canada, Iowa, Clear Lake, Texas in the house. What? I'm telling you, I should have been a DJ. Yeah, so it's hard for me to tell what's going on with these kind of like bandolier, bangly, like bracelet things this guy's wearing. But those might be good candidates for being bronze as well. Bronze-ish. We got Texas, another Texas. Welcome. That guy is from the Netherlands. That's my homeland, man. Not really. My great-grandfather in 1890-something. Great-grandfathers. All four of them. I am 1/16 French, but other than that, Dutch. Missouri. Well, welcome, guys. So far, I think we had someone from sorry, brain fart. I think we had someone from Australia earlier as well. Always great to see the international people outside the U.S. getting in on this, even though it's all kinds of crazy hours. All right. So I am going to do these a bit of a brown, and then I'm going to go over them with bronze. I'm getting, yeah, this is tough. I don't know if it's because I'm rusty or if it's because these miniatures are actually like they are really hard to paint. I'm almost like, man, maybe I'll just paint a cape tonight. Maybe I should just paint a cloak, guys. Paint's too thin, running it everywhere. Whatever. You know what? The point is, we're here hanging out, talking about nerdy things and role-playing games. Those go hand in hand. Sorry. Nerdy things and role-playing games. But yeah, that's what matters, right, guys? Danny Stone from Australia. I knew it. Dice Miniature Paint Guy from Norway. What's up? Greg Wildenmeyer asks where I am from. I'm from West Michigan. Yeah. Originally from Seattle, Washington. Shoreline, Washington. Let me be more specific there. A northern suburb of Seattle. Going back there that way in just a couple weeks. Actually, less than a week I will be there. Flying out next Tuesday to visit my family and stuff. So yeah, I'm excited for that. That'll be really good. All right, let's get back to these and see if we can get a little better coverage here, because that was pretty abysmal. That is much better, for sure. Now, it's looking pretty gold, but what we'll do is we'll go back in with like a bronze wash. I'm sorry, a brown wash. Dirty it up a bit. It's a good strategery for that sort of thing. But yeah, definitely a little green right there. We need to, yeah, it's having trouble covering that still. It's okay. All right, I think we're almost ready to go back in for some more green. Get some highlights. I lied, my green is not staying real wet. I think I didn't have it thick enough on the palette. Yeah, there's still a little green on there. I just got some... yeah, struggling. You can't let the Gobos win, Nate. I know. Thank you. One rolls one. Oh, we've got a Peruvian in the house. Brandon Dudley says, just finished the session of D&D. Well, welcome, man. Hope it was a good game. Danny Stone, happy Thursday. Yeah, it is Thursday, and for many of you. Drunkens and Dragons streaming now as well. Hey, thanks for like driving traffic away from me here, Cooper. Jerk. No, I'm sorry. and right after that, Blaze Rod says, gotta go. Sorry. No, I actually, yeah, definitely check that out. And I was definitely going to send people that way as soon as this stream is over. Go watch Drunkens and Dragons. We're in a game. Let me see what time we got, guys. As expected, I'm moving abysmally slow. We're an hour and 10 minutes in, and I'm nowhere close to finished. But hey, that's okay. I also noticed I got a little bit of brown on this guy's face. Okay, let's get some more green going. Move up to some highlights here. Shake a first. Okay. And a little green on the palette. A lot of green on the palette. All right. Redium says, I mentioned Drunkens earlier, Nate. Well, thanks a lot. You're a jerk, too. No, you're all good. Yeah, I'm not fully keeping up in the chat here. I need an assistant. If I have any volunteers in West Michigan who want to sit while I paint and read me comments from the chat, I would greatly appreciate it. All right, let's see here. To lighten the white, a little bit of yellow. I'm sorry, the green. To lighten the green, a little bit of yellow first. Get a little yellow on the palette. Oh, my yellow is so watery. I don't know what it is with this flat yellow, but it is like super watery. I don't know if the paint is all stuck on the bottom here or what. Okay. It's going to be all right. So I think we'll do one layer of highlights, and then we'll go in with my Coelia green shade, a wash. Let's see, how's that going to do? That's going to be pretty bright. I think we need a little more green than that. I don't want to lighten it too drastically yet. All right. So this is going to go over a lot of the miniature here. So watching Dr. Faust, you know, he'll often say like the highlight goes over, you know, 80% of it or something like that. So that's maybe what I'm shooting for, 70 or 80%, that this next level up of green will go over, so that the darker green will still stay in the lower 20% or so. But we're picking up the raised edges here. I'm just using my number 1 brush here. I could move down to my 0. Not my 00, because that thing is not looking good right now. I'll pick up a little highlight on the hands. Could almost like do a dry brush on the hands, just drag it across lightly, but I'm going to try to individually. Not working so well individually, but anyway, I'm just getting it on some of the hand there. And the feet, that's right, my feet got all browned on that one. But we'll go on the back of this foot here. That's, going to get highlighted, whereas the bottom here, a little less so. Should I highlight that mold line there? Oh, okay, so Redium is saying, I have more viewers than Drunkens and Dragons right now. Well, that should not be happening, no. I love hankering. Actually, speaking of going to Seattle, I'm going to meet the man at AtCon on July 8th, and I am so excited. I'm just going to sneak up behind him and jump on his back. All right. That was an awkward comment. I'm sorry. I don't know where that came from. So yeah, we, highlight the tip of his nose there. Little highlight on the cheeks, but not too much. And again, this is just a little bit lighter than my previous. We definitely would get the top of the ears. Can't remember if I did. Yeah, I think I did that already. Okay. Definitely need to get the top of the ears there. Looks like I got a little brown right there, so I'm going to have to go back and touch that up. Yeah, I'll try a little bit with this green. Even though I really should do it with a deeper shade. Okay. So the green's looking okay. Looking all right. Yeah, let's see. Big 53 Max says, what are my thoughts on the Tomb of Annihilation, the next 5e pre-written campaign? Yeah, I mean, it looks cool and all. It's fine, I guess. I would love to see them doing more. I want to see like a Dark Sun, or I would love to see a different setting, to be honest. One of the other published settings. I know it's kind of a different setting. It's more exotic and all that, but yeah, I mean, it's cool. It sounds like it's got some good things going for it, for sure. Zombie T-Rex. Hello! That was gross, sorry. Alright, next shade up. I'm going to keep going with the shade here. I mean, the highlights here. I added a lot of yellow. Ooh, I'm going to need to add more green. Well, let's see. This might not be so bad. We're going to go drastic. I just need to keep things moving here, so we're going to go drastic. This is going to be a pretty big step up. But we'll put it on thin, and that way it won't be quite as crazy. Still got that brown spot right there. The ears. So now I'm just covering a little bit less than I did before. Maybe I'm going like 40% here instead of my previous layer of 80. Just get the tip of the heel there. Not too much. And I do need to go back and get the brown foot. Don't forget that, Nate. Come on. All right. Cool. Emmanuel Alicia says, hi, this is just a moment to relax and learn. Hey, cool, man. Well, thanks for joining in. I hope you learned something. I don't claim to be an excellent miniature painter, but I like doing it. And I'm glad people like hanging out with me while I do it. So next, level up a highlights here on this one now. Just a little bit there and a little bit there. And then got to get the raised kind of brow here. This right one's got a nasty mold line across. It's kind of messing things up a little bit, but that's okay. Gonna go back and do the spikes. Probably kind of an ivory color, maybe. I'm not sure about that. Or maybe they'll be black. Actually, black might be kind of cool. Black spikes on this guy's head. Oh, sorry, you can't see it well. Sorry, guys. The Escapist says, when are you going to do another live dungeon or campaign with your friends? So I don't really like stream a campaign or anything like that, but or post videos of a campaign. But I will likely do another live game sometime this summer. It's not something I do often, but I do think it's important to do for a YouTuber like me who gives D&D tips to kind of practice what I preach here and there and show, hey, I can actually run a game too, sort of, somewhat proficiently. So realized I didn't do my first layer of highlight on this guy's legs. And where are his legs anyway? That is a good question. I think I got him right. So, I guess I'll make do and just kind of highlight with what I've got here. But looks like they honestly could use another coat. We're just going. We're going to keep on moving. Oh, I see. Emmanuel Alicia, you were probably talking about the games I'm in. Yeah. So, Provokers, probably not till July. Dragon Grin, probably not till late July or early August, I would guess. But, yeah, we're all really busy right now. The guys that I play with, of course, are the Absolute Tabletop guys, and they are planning AppCon right now, as well as writing the Oath of the Frozen King. So they're pretty busy, but yeah, I hope we can play again soon. A lot of fun. So if you're not, drop my brush. If you're not familiar with those games, check them out on Tabletop Terrors, the Dragon Grin campaign, and Provokers over on A Fistful of Dice. Okay, gonna do a little more bronze while I'm thinking of it here. Just another coat on this guy. What is turning out to be kind of goldish. But I will put a brown wash over it again. Okay. Coming along. So one thing you'll notice about these guys is that I got a much higher level of contrast on these. So I got a little work to do if I want to do that, but I'm kind of trying to finish these, so I don't know if I will. I'll do another layer of highlights, and this time I will add a little bit of, we're going to go with some bone white, actually, on the skin, in addition to the yellow that I've already added. So this will lighten it up quite a bit. All right, we're just doing it. This time highlighting even less. Kind of hard to know how much to highlight on the skull here because it's such a big flat surface, but oh well. Yeah, it's getting a little messed up there, but you know what? He's got splotchy skin. That's the reason. He's got a skin condition. heel, the knee, the ankle. It's pretty good. Okay. And let's see. Howdy Nate, just watched your videos today and have been, this is Howell Octavian, watching a lot of them. I just filled out a whole sheet of character tokens for my group who just started. Nice, man. That's awesome. Emmanuel Alicia says, love them. Just love how they're looking. Well, thanks, man. So ordering character miniatures, there's a number of ways to do it, but I do have a video in the D&D FAQ series where I talk about miniatures. I should do another one where I give a little more detail, but Pathfinder Pawns are a good way to go if you're looking for a 2D miniature. Otherwise, I do Reaper Bones in general, and nowadays, check your local shops for these, but these would all require painting, Reaper Bones and these. It's fun. I enjoy it. Yeah, Goblins, Redium says, probably vary in skin tone like humans. Yes, absolutely. And I thought about doing some more grayish goblins on these ones, like just a very gray, kind of dull. But I decided I'm just going to try to keep them fairly traditional, bright green. Crazy bright green skin. So that's what I'm doing. But yeah, I mean, you could do red goblins even, which would be kind of cool. I usually imagine them, yeah, gray to green. And get that heel. Beep, beep, beep. Fingers, a little bit. So on this, I'm going really thin on this one, just because I want to see the layers underneath it. I actually do. Sometimes you can even do some like little lines like that. Just kind of play with it. All right. I think we're going to call it good on the skin tone. Eyes on these little guys, I did red. It turned out okay. Probably do that again. I did a blue tongue on this guy. What color are goblin tongues? Well, blue, of course. Anyway. All right. Let's get back to more of the brown here. Definitely need more coverage on that. It did not cover well. This coat's going better. Definitely getting better coverage now. Yeah, every time I do these little details, I'm like, man, I just want to paint the cape. I might just paint the cape, guys. I'm being honest here. I might just abandon. These goblins might win today. Just because I don't have the patience for it right now. That's bad, but that's where I'm at. Got a little green there. You might notice I did not do a wash on the goblin skin tone. Yep, just not going to do it. Decided against it. Did enough highlighting and shading that, it's going to be okay. Okay, a little more brown here. Actually, I think I need a little bit of green right there. Some goblin skin between the shoulder pad and the forearmor, we'll call it. All right, I'm gonna do one more coat of the bronzish. Bronzish, goldish armor here. And then I'll apply that wash that I was talking about. Gonna get more green there too. All right. I want to thank everybody again for joining me tonight. Really cool that you guys hanging out with me and chatting. One Bad Monkey says, greetings from Germany. Greetings. I like Germany. Went there a few months ago. Very nice. I can see myself living in Germany. All right. Red. Oh, you know what? I keep forgetting some of the things I'm leaving behind here that I need to stop just moving on to like the fun things that I want to paint. That is some of that green right here. Right here. And his hand too. Oh, this is going to be tricky. I'll do my best. Got some over the goldish. That's okay. I do think that was a really good suggestion to go with kind of a bronze there. Paul Simon, have I come to a decision on how they're taking paint? They're taking paint okay. It's really hard. I feel like it's really hard for me to judge because I am used to having a black primer. But I will say they're not. Let's try something. I've been talking about this cape. Let's try a cape. My rogue's cape, my female rogue, is going to have a dark blue cape. I don't have a dark blue. Oh, yes I do. I have this midnight. This is a Reaper paint. So let's try that, and let's try a Vallejo as well. So this would be like a good base coat on the cape. So let's get a wide open surface and see how it goes. Now Reaper paint is like really thin. The MSP, I think it's called. So anyway, we'll try a couple different kinds, but let's just take this coat for example. This cloak, which I have been fawning over. So it's going okay. Yeah, like it's taking paint like a primed white miniature would. If it was primed white, this is about what I would expect if I spray primed it white. Whereas a Reaper miniature, generally not so much. Now, I have not pre-washed this one. Some people don't do that, but let's just take this Reaper right here. This is one of the Bones 3 molds here. This is a woman with a very bent sword. About the same. You know, not a huge difference. That's with a Reaper paint. Now you can tell more when it dries and all that, but yeah, not a huge difference. Let's try going back to this one a little bit. Xenery says, thanks, Nate. You're a great YouTuber. Well, thanks, man. I appreciate that. Thanks for joining in. Johnny Cowboy says, Sprechen Sie Deutsch, one bad monkey? I don't remember much German. Danke, bitte. Those are important. I remember excuse me was very difficult for me. It's like, it shouldn't see Deutsch. It shouldn't. I can't do it, guys. Like, what? I mean, I studied Spanish. Perdón is good for me. Perdón? Perdóname. But man, es schulden Sie bitte, or something like that. Es schulden Sie bitte. Am I getting that right, guys? Excuse me, please. It's like if you want to ask for directions or something like that. Damien3182 says, damn, how you fix bent weapons? It's pretty easy. What you do is you get a pot of boiling water, and you hold that thing in there for like a second, and then you get some like tweezers or something like that, or just your hand, and you just, as soon as you dip it in, well, you want to dip it in with like some tweezers probably, so you don't burn your fingers. And then you pull it out, and you hold that sword like that for just like 10 seconds or so. And then you can dunk it in some cold water and you're usually good. George Jerry says, read Dragonlance. I have, man. I've read Dragonlance. Leave me alone. Raymond Watley says, Entschuldigung. Yeah, Entschuldigung or something like that. Yeah. I remember that now. Anyway, that was a tough one for me. German would have been the next language I learned. I studied Spanish. I was a Spanish major. Hablo español, más o menos. German was the next one that if I had room in my schedule for another language in college, that was going to be it for sure. Well, so you can see it takes paint okay. Like it takes paint like I would expect a miniature that I primed white to take it. Ooh. Now this is MSP paint. Let's try a different one because I am eager to not go back to those little goblins and all their little tiny. I'm just whining because I'm rusty, guys. Don't mind me. All right, let's try a different cloak here. So this is Human Cleric. Let's try a light blue for this guy. This is Aleotic blue. This is a Citadel. Oof, it's gonna need some thinning, guys. Okay, if I didn't over thin it there, but let's take a look at how that goes on. Yeah, I mean it's fine. And then we should also try a yeah, it goes on like I would expect a white primed miniature to do. It's gonna take some coats, you know, because it's a solid color over white. A bright white you're trying to cover, or at least a fairly somewhat bright white. Got a little bubble there. Let's try a brown. This is model color Maron beige. Let's try that for some hair. He's going to have blonde hair, so we would maybe use this as a base. Oops, I'm getting a Facebook message. Spotted Shark says, I have to work in the morning. Damn it, stop doing cool things. I'm sorry, man. You're so nice. You make me smile. Yeah, that covers pretty good. You know, again, you're painting a solid color over a bright white primer. It's gonna take some coats. It could take like 3 or 4 coats for that to fully cover, but that's about what I would expect. So my overall verdict is pretty good on that. Now let's try the Reaper. Whatever, I can paint over these later, right? I'm just not going to worry about it too much. Let's try this. Yeah, see, look at that. Okay, look at that Vallejo paint on the Reaper. Now, I didn't wash it, but you can see the MSP paint. They do say use their paints for Reaper bones. This is terrible, guys. This is like not workable here. Look at that. I put the paint on it, it just shrinks right up. So, sorry, I'm not having it totally centered on the camera. But, so that's a Vallejo paint on a Reaper Bones miniature. Now, I prime them, you know, and they're fine. Like, I use Vallejo paints on all these guys. You know, this one here, it's a one I recently just base coated, didn't do much else with. So, yeah, you know, they cover fine with that, but yeah. So again, yeah, to clarify, this is a Reaper Bones miniature, and you can see the difference. MSP paint, the coverage is fine. MSP paint, Reaper, no washing. Usually I scrub them in a little dish soap, and the Vallejo paint, not fine. All right. And then in terms of the new WizKids miniatures, I did not prime them, and they've been covering fine. These two, you know, with either paint, MSP or Vallejo. So they're pre-primed, even though Bones does say you don't need to prime our miniatures. You don't need to prime their miniatures if you are using their paint. If you're not using their paint, according to this little test we just did, you really need to prime them. Yeah. Guys, I didn't get my goblins done, but I'm going to take a few questions from the chat. Oh, shoot. Knocking stuff over. I kind of had a feeling I wouldn't get my goblins done. I'll be honest. I'm so slow, guys. I'm so slow. And I'm really rusty. But take a few questions from the chat here. I'll let you see my shining need to shave face for just a minute. Sorry. We're getting there. Let's see here. I'm going to adjust my focus because I'm vain and I don't want to appear fuzzy. Okay, got the autofocus, and we'll get the exposure up a notch. There we go. So, if you have any questions in the chat, feel free, guys. Let's see here. I really like the guy with the beard in the back, says Johnny Cowboy. Very well done. I may have to try painting. Yeah, check him out. This is Barnabas Frost. He is one of the Reaper molds, and I love it. Me and Jake painted this guy live, so if you want to see some more live painting, check out Mini Painting Adventure, I think we called it. And he painted, and I painted, and we had a lot of fun just hanging out, shooting the breeze, and painting some miniatures. And there was part 2 on my channel, part 1 on his channel, Mini Terrain Domain. Check them out. Fred Durst says, I wish I could paint as good as you, dude. Well, thank you, man. I appreciate that. I don't claim to be, I am no Dr. Faust. Let me say that. I am no Dr. Faust, but I enjoy it. I'll just say that. Paul Simon, would it help to see some of the detail in doing a light black wash first? Yeah, it probably would. As I said, I usually do that with my miniatures. I'll prime them black and then do a light gray wash. So it probably would. How to do an RPG. You can watch my how to play D&D videos. They might help. Would you do a review of Hero Forge custom minis? Yeah, maybe. Like if I'm not going to order one probably. Someone wants to send me one, I'll do a review. They're expensive. They are. I mean, I think you're paying like $15 for one miniature once you talk about shipping and everything. So they're pricey. Maybe I'd do one at some point. I don't really have a desire to order one. Yeah, so, okay, so I'm going back in the chat here. Is the female rogue from Bones 3. So all of them were from the Whiz Kids new miniatures, which I did a review of last week on the channel. Check out that review, except for that one with the bent sword. Yeah, so thanks for clarifying that. Whoever it was who clarified that, I can't see it now. I roll ones. Yep, that was a Bones. Redium says, what's my favorite D&D class? I'm partial to the cleric because that was one of my first, and there's some cool cleric spells, and I like being a helper. I mean, I feel like I have kind of a nurturing personality, so maybe that's why I like being the healer. And they got some cool spells, and they're decent. Like they're decent in combat. You can depending on how you build the character, you can still wade in and do some damage. Greg says, thanks a lot, Nate. Have a great night. Thank you, Greg. You too, man. Let's see. Spiel Knight says, I'm interested in doing some D&D YouTube videos and stuff. Any tips? Man, just start. I've been meaning to do a video just encouraging people to start their own channel because I think it's important for us to have more voices. I think there's definitely room for it. I mean, I think that D&D and RPGs are going through a revival. And I think that there's room for new people to step in and share their way of doing things. So do it. Just turn on. Honestly, this little guy right here, great YouTube device. Just use your phone. It's better than most webcams on laptops. Just give it a shot. And then if you find you like it, sure, invest in some better equipment, stuff like this and whatever. Yeah, favorite edition of D&D. I am so new to it that it's hard for me to judge. Big Mac, probably D&D 5th edition, though. That's what I play. That's pretty much only what I play. Yeah. With her spoons, what subject do you teach? I teach history. I teach social studies, government, global issues, U.S. history. Excuse me, burped. Yeah. Well, I want to thank you guys for joining me. I encourage everybody to go check out Drunkens and Dragons. Right now, he's doing a stream, and I just realized I had a little bit left in the can that I didn't pour in my glass. Yeah. Drunkens and Dragons, I think he's probably still running the game right now. So go check him out. Hankerin's a great guy. Transition from this stream to that stream. Go watch some D&D being played by some cool guys. Thank you guys so much. Hey, if you're interested in supporting the channel, I do have a link to my Patreon page right up there. You can check that out. Want to thank the patrons for their support, just for helping out and chipping in and helping me, buy products for review, keep upgrading my equipment, and just justify all the time, the many hours I spend on the channel. So yeah, really, really appreciate that. Make sure you're following me on Facebook and Twitter, guys. And yeah, everybody take care. You'll see me again very soon.